you can take any geography on the planet down to a 5 foot by 5 foot square and put a virtual fence around it. Most people are by now are familiar with the invisible fence for your dog in your yard.
Yeah.
It's basically the same thing, except what we're putting in and what we're tracking inside and outside of the fence are cell phones. So as a cell phone crosses over that invisible fence, we're able to identify the device. Actually, we're able to track the device itself, and we're not able to gather phone numbers and addresses and things like that, but we don't need to, because we can send ads to those phones based on the machine ID.
Welcome to the MBD Podcast Show, where we dig into what's actually working or not when it comes to scaling businesses with the people who've been there. Today's guest has definitely been there. So why don't you go ahead, introduce yourself, tell everybody about where you've been, what you're doing, where you're going.
Hey, thanks, Jason. Name's Trip Gormley. Trip's a nickname. Real name's Joseph, but Trip is short for triple. And so that kind of stuck when I was calling my dad's office, and his secretary / assistant just wanted me to stop pretending I was him. So we got, so people call me Trip. Anyway, my company's called Karras Technology, and we do marketing and sales automation technology. And I'm out here in northern Idaho, which is a recent move for me. I'm a Jersey born and bred kind of guy. Spent some time a couple other places, but real excited to be on your podcast today, Jason. Tell me what you want to talk about.
Awesome. So essentially what we're looking at is like when you start working with the business, what are areas of opportunity that you find to help them scale and essentially overcome failure or prevent failure?
Yeah. So I do a lot of things. I think a lot of marketing companies do. I think one of the things I've got that's unique is helping people take advantage of geofencing technology. I can scale geofencing technology to pretty much any size business, not every size business, but down at the lower end B2C environment, really successful at finding ways for people to take advantage of that tech.
Awesome. And so for those who aren't familiar with geofencing, can you describe a little bit about how it works?
Sure. So what happens is you can take any geography on the planet down to a 5 foot by 5 foot square and put a virtual fence around it. Most people are by now are familiar with the invisible fence for your dog in your yard.
Yeah.
It's basically the same thing, except what we're putting in and what we're tracking inside and outside of the fence are cell phones. So as a cell phone crosses over that invisible fence, we're able to identify the device in a very limited way. Actually, we're able to track the device itself, and we're not able to gather phone numbers and addresses and things like that, but we don't need to, because we can send ads to those phones, right, based on the machine ID. So we can send targeted ads based on where they were at a certain time or how frequently, and those are the key metrics. So where they were, how often they were there, and when, right? So imagine you've got a big conference, and your target market, whoever that might be, is all going to be at that conference. We can put a geofence around there and we can flood it with ads. Now, that's not going to be as effective as some other things where people are going to be less surprised at those ads, right? So think of sporting events, think of restaurants. If you're a restaurant and you geofence all the other restaurants around town, you can flood them with ads. If you're maybe a coffee shop, you might want to flood all the restaurants with ads to say, hey, come over here for dessert afterwards. We got something unique going on. There's a lot of other applications.
Now, what are these ad platforms that you're using to get in front of people? Are you using like Meta, using Google, some other avenues?
So the same gang of folks we all use in marketing. So all the social media type places. So we're going Meta, we're going Google.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the ones that everyone else will use, and so that's not unique.
Hmm.
A lot of the other marketing rules are going to apply, right? So your creative has to be attractive to your target market. We've got to identify who your target market is, things like that.
And are you using push notifications at all? Have I know that got hit pretty hard years back, of being able to geofence with push. Because we were actually doing some of the stuff where like you'd be in a specific area and we do push notifications. Hey, come check this out, and then they kind of lock that down. So, have you found any thing unique and able to get in front of people to make sure they get the message?
So no, we're not really doing push notifications. It's mostly social media.
Hmm.
It's YouTube. It's Google. Uh, it's banner ads on
Hmm.
600 different applications. So you download an app from the App Store. If you didn't pay for it, you're going to get some ads, and we can get ads to people that way. And those are really great because certain types of people download certain types of ads, and that can be very powerful, as you know, in other ways
Yeah.
too. So, but the geofence really, so you may just be targeting certain apps because you have an inclination that that person is your target market. You can confirm that with geofencing as well. Um, yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. So you've got someone. So I'm trying to think, because essentially I'm going based off of Google campaign. You set it up, you set up your location targeting, but you're able to take that to another level. What, I mean, are you using a database or a table to store these phone IDs so that way they know who these users are to go after them? How does that back end kind of work to structure that?
Yeah. So in all of our marketing, we're going to make sure our customers have a database that they can use.
Hmm.
They can be their own database, or we can provide it for them, so that we can track and do drip campaigns. So when a person goes in and out of the geofence, we have a certain amount of time. We have access to that ID, and then to get ads and a response. And if we get a response in the first 30 days, we can continue to market to them. That's sort of in our high level. So what you might be interested in. So I mean, even last year, if you didn't have a marketing budget over $20,000, geofencing wasn't really going to be a fit for you. We've now
Hmm.
made it to where small, medium-sized businesses can access geofencing with budgets as small as, and this is a really hard floor, $2,000 a month,
Hmm.
and that's going to get them the ability to really be creative and go after anything on the planet, 5 foot by
Hmm.
5 foot square. Now
Hmm.
we're talking attorneys, we're talking pharmaceutical applications, we're talking, you just want to geofence your a certain type of retail store that you can do anything. You could also do big areas of wealthy homes if that's what you like. But in the very small area for B2C clients, I've got a unique proposition where your B2C vendors that want to target wealthy homes, they can get into a very inexpensive solution that's can be just a few $100s a month.
Hmm.
And we're talking about these types of verticals. We're talking about real estate professionals. We're talking about dentists and other medical professions. We're talking about veterinarians or anything to do with pets,
Hmm.
and we're also talking about carpenters and electricians and plumbers. Anybody performing a service that would be on a house, and they're super effective, and a very low entry point to where folks that aren't even advertising. Most of our good clients are advertising in one way or another today,
Hmm.
but now at that level, we can get people that haven't even tried advertising in the past. So it's really great.
Yeah, and so with that cost, does that include the ads or is that just the geofencing cost?
I'll include the ads.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, so you get just a few $100, and they can get in at a very inexpensive way, and make a big impact. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So what does your process work? Say I'm a plumber, I'm going, hey, or a vet. I'm trying to target this area. This is what my service range is. I only want to be in here. I want to get in front of people who are homeowners or have pets. And then what's your process to identify that ICP and then kind of run with it?
Yeah. So for the plumber, for the vet, those are great opportunities for these wealthy neighborhoods. So we've identified. The way we keep the costs down is we've identified 1,400 uh, well-to-do neighborhoods across the U.S. and Canada. And so they want. So it's really important that if they don't want to spend 2,000 or more a month, and they want a solution, we're gonna give them a neighborhood close to their geography that has been identified for this type of target marketing, and we're going to put the geofence solution in place with them. And so I mean, the conversation starts with who's your customer, right?
Mhm.
Who do you want to sell to, and then we go from there.
Got it. Okay. So you figure out who they want to sell to, and then now you've got that ideal target market. Now you need to build out the campaigns. And then how do you go about making sure that they have ads that stand out and are successful at generating conversions?
Yeah. So what we do, it's a multi-channel, uh,
Hmm.
it's a multi-channel approach with print and digital. So we're going to add print into this. The digital side and the print side are both going to be flooded into the geofenced area. The geofenced area is a neighborhood, a wealthy neighborhood with certain married folks. We target married folks that own their own home.
Hmm.
And we do that for a reason too. We want to stay in a lot of these wealthier areas. We find that there are a lot of resort homes and rentals, and they're not really living in the community. And that's usually something our target audience, our plumbers and vets and realtors aren't interested in, marketing towards someone who's not even really living there. Just a vacation home. And then, so there's going to be print ads going in there. There's going to be digital ads going in there, and there's going to be, we're also going to specify, um, you know, different other add-ons to make that person. It's more of a branding strategy than advertising. The digital side is a little bit of advertising, but the branding comes in on the print side. So we're in front of them all the time. And our tagline at Karras is, get found, get known, get chosen. And the real important piece is the get known piece, so that when these people do want to change their vet, which isn't every day, or they do want to get a new plumber, which is not every day, they're like, I recognize that guy from the print media.
Yeah,
So it's
it's the
muscle
same
memory.
reach and frequency technique used in like really found in traditional media when you're trying to build your brand. And it's kind of lost with digital because everybody's trying to go after that zone where, hey, they're within this stage of the sales funnel, right? But the branding's been lost, that aspect, I feel, in a lot of companies, because I mean, you want to just pay to get clients, but there's also a long game that needs to be played.
Got to
Um,
play the long game. Yeah.
yeah,
And
and
that's the conversation. Like your plumber comes to me and I say to him,
mhm,
look, hey, are are you looking for cash flow, or are you looking for clients that aren't going to nickel and dime you because they see
mhm.
value in who you are? And I'm going to guide them one way or the other based on that, on the answer they give me right there.
Yeah, yeah, and I get a lot. Well, I'll give you a little bit of budget, and if it works, we'll scale. And you're like, well, you got to give me more budget than that in order for it to work. So it's never going to scale.
Yeah, yeah. Well, budget or time, right? So
uh,
if it's so on that lower end to get in at those low price points, they've got to commit to a certain period of time because it's
that
branding.
makes sense.
If
Yeah.
it's branding, we know the stories, the big stories out there. Companies like Red Bull and
Hmm.
where it took them time. They didn't become like they didn't get their brand built. Everybody knows that brand or other brands. It doesn't. It's muscle memory. And if
Hmm.
anybody, I always ask them, were you ever an athlete? Did you ever play a musical instrument? And it's just a real conversation. Where do you want to be? Because if you need cash flow next month, we need to coupon that bad boy, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
you know, and you're going to spend a little more, but you're going to spend it quickly, and then you're going to lose margin. Do you want to, or But I'd rather work with a successful business that wants to improve their margins.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. You got everything built out. It's running. You're seeing success. What are ways that you help track and identify that this came potentially from this geofencing channel?
Yeah, I think the digital really helps with that, right? So we
Hmm.
get the response there. So, but the print media, that where we're going into these neighborhoods, and we're using a sponsoring technique that's proven to make them be associated with building up these neighborhoods. I think wealthy individuals have a tendency to buy very differently than other folks. They're not buying based on, I got a 30% coupon, I'm going to run out and get my dog cut, right? Now, I want to know that that person is invested in the neighborhood. And that's really what we do. We get them invested through the print media, because the print media that we deliver to these homes, we pay for the print media to go out there. And actually, literally, my sponsors, the ones paying for the ads, are paying for it, right? And but our sponsors are made known over time to be the ones that are funding this, and it's got a sense of exclusivity to it. So in these neighborhoods, like a lot of times, if you don't live in the neighborhood, you don't know about the print media, because you're
Mm-hmm.
getting that exclusively to your neighborhood. So it has a big impact.
Awesome. Now, on what you're running, how are you generating your sales pipeline?
Yeah, so I do it two ways, and I do geofenced as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I do ads
Mm-hmm.
on social media, targeted to those same communities, right? So I'm trying to get to contractors and vendors of those communities, and find that those types of ads work really well. Or I do just cold calling, direct, make phone calls. Um, yeah, I go to networking events too, but I don't spend a lot of time at networking events anymore. Just really just to be out there and collect information on some of the neighborhoods, but that's
So,
pretty much it.
so you're identifying neighborhoods. You're going after household incomes of what 70, 80 and greater, I would guess.
Hmm.
And then you're sending print. Oh, higher
Much
90,
higher,
90
much
plus,
higher,
95
much higher.
plus. Okay.
200 plus.
No. Oh, I meant 95 percentile. Sorry, 80
Oh,
percentile. Yeah.
oh, okay.
No. No.
Yeah,
Not. Yeah. I wasn't targeting. No.
I would now
Sorry.
get yeah, 200 income minimum. A million and a half in assets. You're an accredited investor type.
Yeah. And then getting print in front of them, you're getting ads in front of them, geofencing, making sure you're targeting the right area. And then how are you finding success in ads? Because I know with that recent meta update where all the feedback is that it's changed how they want to target based on creative assets. How are you finding success in being able to differentiate? And I almost wonder, maybe you're the only person in those areas probably running. So maybe competition's really low, except for those national marketing coaches that want to get in front of everybody.
So yeah, competition is for that competition at that end is unique. I mean, definitely have competitors, but some of them are more perceived competitors.
Yeah.
So where I am in northern Idaho, we've got a resort community, and inside my geofence, there's not a home that's under $1 million. We get this big ski resort. We got the
Hmm.
big lake here. The competition is for the print. So there's the competition. The combination of print and digital gives me an edge, right? Because my
Yeah.
print media is unique, and not everybody has access to it. The other types of community um, magazines, and there's a bunch compared to other geographies, is really designed for visitors. Like there's a lot in there about skiing and boating, and every realtor in town's in there. And and every realtor I talk to wants to be unique. They
Hmm.
don't want to be in a big. Why do I want to spend money on pages and pages of realtors? So we're able to give people some uniqueness in that. And one of the things we do is we allow one in each magazine. We have what we call these expert contributors. So the print vehicle is a magazine that goes out to these communities every month, and we have a thing called an expert contributor. So I get one realtor that signs up for that, and they get to write up to 4 articles a year in the magazine,
Hmm.
which is inside the geofence. And
Hmm.
then when they get listed at the front of the magazine every month, so they get more facial recognition, assuming that
Hmm.
they're the
Yeah.
individual doing the selling. And that's just so powerful, because people start to recognize them as an expert in the community,
Hmm.
and that's what we want. Yeah, so that's
Awesome.
that's a big part of it.
So, if someone was listening and trying to scale right now, what's one piece of advice you wish you had earlier?
Yeah, just have lots of good advisors and talk to lots of good smart people. I mean, I think everybody knows, you're always looking for someone smarter than yourself. That's why you and I talked. I think
Yeah.
you're smarter than me. So I'm like, hey, I would talk to Jason. Just you don't know what don't know. I mean, the guys that most successful guys I know aren't the smartest guys in the world, but they surround themselves with smart people. That's all.
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
everything's changing. There's things you got to embrace, whether you're comfortable with it or not. You got to find out about them, and you got to look into new things.
Awesome. And where can people connect with you or learn more about what you're doing?
Yeah, so Karras.io is my website. You'll see on the front there, it says get found, get
Hmm.
known, get chosen. And, I've got you can you can go fill out a little form and get to my calendar, and you can schedule 30 minutes with me anytime you want, or you can call 888-58 Karras, X-A-R-I-S, or you can email me at trip@karras.io, just the domain right down there. Go
Awesome. Well,
across.
thank you. Thank you for taking the time.
Jason, you're the man. Appreciate you.
All right.
All right, bye.